Hi, let's see the overview of bot development framework in Power Automate Desktop. So will be just a theoretical overview of the framework. So today I will be covering on the dispatcher and the performer part. Okay, so let's move on to the framework. Okay, so this is the dispatcher bot, and in this you can see first of all we initialize the config files. Okay, initialize all the variables. So we read the bot will read the local config file. Okay, that can be a JSON file or XML file, or it can be a Dataverse table also, custom Dataverse table. Okay, then once it is success, it will load the data to queue. Okay, since it's a dispatcher, right, we need the data to be loaded into the queue. So data to the queue uh, can come from a email, okay, or from an UI application or from a API as well. Okay, once all the data is loaded to queue, bot will go and close all applications and stop the flow. But in case of any error, an exception handling flow will take over and try to retry at the block level or at the um, action level as well. Okay, so Power Automate Desktop had that feature as well. Okay, it will retry 3 times, and if it is succeed, then it will load the data. Even after 3 attempts it is not succeeding, it will discard that value. Okay, suppose while initializing the application, right, from where you're going to read those values like the APIs or email, if it is not launching after three try, it should stop the flow because there is no point in continuing it. Okay, and during initialize application it will also initialize the log files and folders, and it will kill all existing app process. Okay, also it will write to the log files. Okay, then so this is all about dispatcher. So dispatcher will load the data to the queue, performer will read the data from the queue and process one by one. Now coming to the performer bot, it is a similar structure. So here the bot will read the config files, then once it is success it will process the data, okay, using process queue items. So all records are processed, it will close all application and stop the flow. But in case of any error, right, while processing one particular record from the queue, that is a one work queue item, if there is any error, it will uh, the bot will have the exception handling subflow, which will handle those exception. Also, it will have the on block error and the action level handling mechanism. Okay, even if the retry is failing, it will mark those record as IT exception and go to next record in the queue for processing. Also, it will write to the log files. And similarly, here in the initialize application, in case there is an issue, it will retry 3 times. If after retrying 3 times, it is not succeeding, then it will stop the flow. Okay, because there's no point in continuing because the application itself is not available. The target application like the SAP screen or any other web browser web application, there is no point in going to the processing data, right? So even after 3 attempts the application is not launching, it will stop the flow. Okay, but in case of success or failure, it will still initialize the log files and folders, and it will kill all existing app process so that there is no running application, right? Okay, so it will start fresh. Okay, so in case of success and failure, it will do all these things: initialize log files, kill all existing process, and also it will write to the log files. Okay, so this is the framework overview. This is just a theoretical overview. I hope you found this useful. Thank you so much for watching.